Lucille said she wanted to go first. I totally should have gone first. This is going to be really rough. I'm Amy Wilcox, and I am so honored to be here today and standing next to this amazing woman. I am literally one of the luckiest people alive. Why? Because right now, there are 116,000 people in the United States waiting for an organ transplant. 492 people in Utah are waiting for a kidney transplant. And I am so lucky because Conrad, Lucille, and Keith said yes to organ donation. My story starts at birth, really. I had a birth defect that caused severe damage to my kidneys when I was young, and luckily the doctors caught it fairly early and they repaired it. And I went on with my life, and unbeknownst to me, as I was growing up and getting older, my kidney function was getting worse and worse and worse. And one day I went to the doctor for a routine checkup, and they said, you know, your blood pressure's kind of high. We should really see why that is. And so I was like, well, okay, I feel fine. So they ran a bunch of tests, and I remember going into the doctor, and he said, you might want to leave your kids outside for this one. They were 3 and 5 at the time. And they told me that day I had to have a kidney transplant. I had no idea it was coming. It blindsided me. It felt like a death sentence to me. And to add insult to injury, they told me that I had some very rare things in my blood that made it so only 3 out of 10 people would be able to donate to me. That's not really good odds. So I wasn't really optimistic about it. Well, so I got on the transplant list. I got on dialysis, where I was hooked up to a machine every single night. Imagine being hooked up to a machine every night that cleans your blood and keeps you alive. It's really not much of a life. I had to have tons of help with my family and my kids, and it was a lot of work, and it was really, really difficult. Well, for me, everything changed on October 22nd, 1998. I will never forget that date. I remember that day like it was yesterday. I was just sitting at home, and the phone rang, just like the phone rings for all of us. I picked up the phone, and the other end, the person told me they had found a match for me. I couldn't believe it. That day I had such mixed emotions. I cheered. I was so excited. No more dialysis. On the other hand, I was so sad and devastated knowing that some family had lost someone very, very dear to them. It almost felt wrong to celebrate that day. Well, the transplant was a smashing success, and the doctors later told me that my kidney, Conrad's kidney, started working right there on the operating table. And here we are, almost 19 years later, still going strong, thanks to Conrad. So, about a year after my transplant, and a letter back and forth between Lucille and I, we finally got to meet. I got to meet the people that saved my life, literally saved my life. I have never known people as selfless as Keith and Lucille, and even though they had discussed organ donation as a family and with Conrad, as a mother, I cannot even begin to fathom having to make that decision in a time of terrible, terrible grief. So Lucille, she changed my life forever. Why? Because over the last 19 years, I have gotten to check so many things off my bucket list. I did one of them today, actually. I've done this race a bunch of times, but I've only walked the 1K. This year, I ran almost the whole way, 2 times around. And I have gotten to see my children grow up. I got to see them their first day of kindergarten. I got to see them go to the prom. I got to see them graduate from high school and graduate from college and get married and become really, really amazing people. I love you, Hillary. And mostly because I have gotten to love and be loved by so many amazing people in my life, like Lucille, and my amazing husband, Dan, amazing, and my children, and my parents, and my mother-in-law, and my father-in-law, all my extended family and my friends who are all so supportive and loving. See, I told you, I am one of the luckiest people in the world.
Thank you. You definitely see the amazing ripple effect of organ and tissue donation.